Hello everyone, my name is Cristian Negulescu. You know me for a lot of automation with UiPath. Today we'll talk about ChatGPT and we'll talk about API integration with UiPath. We do this video to prepare everything for use cases. For the integration with UiPath on ChatGPT, my friend Mahmoud created a very nice video here. So Mahmoud TV has a very nice video with the integration. I will explain it in my way. If you are young, if you are not so used with API, Mahmoud explained very well here. The target for me is to create an API integration that I will use in the use case. Today we'll have a simple, very simple testing use case. And in the next video, we'll have 3 use cases with data and everything. So let's start. To use ChatGPT, you go to openai.com chat and you talk with the ChatGPT. You have to create an account there. It's your job to create an account, sign up and create an account. Here, for example, I ask him what is the capital of Romania, and he answered Bucharest. Yeah, capital of Romania is Bucharest. My target is to get this name and use it in an automation on UiPath. Also, my target is to not have a standard text, just capital of Romania. It's a text that I will modify from UiPath, and I will be able to do this dynamically. Let's understand what we have to do. So, you have to understand the API connection. For the API connection, you have to go to beta.openai.com, and on beta.openai.com, you will have, so beta.openai.com, you will have the documentation for the API, yeah? And here, on the API, you have the introduction, you have the authentication, and here, very important, you have the API key. I have here a key that I use, and I create a new key. So I'll copy this key and use it to my automation, yeah? You will see the key on the screen. I will delete this key after we use the automation, yeah? So don't try to copy this key because I will already delete this key. So this key is active just when I use it. Done. So I have the key. Now, on all the stuff that I present on the YouTube with REST API, I test everything from Postman because we need to do tests from Postman. Postman is the best tool for testing this stuff. And then we'll jump to UiPath to understand how we'll do this REST API from UiPath and how we are able to work with UiPath. So first, to be able to send a comment to ChatGPT to respond to a question, we need to do a post. So if you come back here on the documentation, you will see details on the how you do stuff, what you need to install and so on, yeah? And what are the formats. Let's see simple test from Postman, and then let's move it to UiPath. So on Postman, I will do a post, very important. The link for the post is this one, HTTP API, OpenAI version 1, this one, yeah? Then I have the authorization key. On the authorization key, I will select here auto authentication, and I will copy paste the authorization key here, the authorization key that we generated before. Now, on the parameters, I have to do headers. So on the headers, these are the default headers that you will get on Postman. On this header, I have to add this one, content type, application JSON. Yeah, always in the 95% of the movies that I showed you on this stuff, it's with content type application JSON. Then I have to provide him a body, a JSON body. And the JSON body, in my case, is this one. If you take a look on the documentation, you will see multiple examples of models here, yeah? And in my case, for a simple simple data, I will use only this part, model prompt tokens, because you will see that it's a limitation of 4,000 tokens and so on. Yeah. So it's a limitation also how many you can use on a demonstration and so on. So I will use only these these 4 parameters. Yeah, they are mandatory. It's this one. So mandatory is just the model. You see, here you have all description of the parameters and so on. For me, as a test, I will use these 3 parameters. Okay, let's go back to this one. Let's see what we have on JSON. We have model text DaVinci 003. We have the question. In my case, it's can you tell me the capital of Romania? Max token 20. You will see he will use 10 tokens for this question and this temperature. So I do a post to this one. I have the authorization key, auto authentication, put the authorization key here. I put the header to be content type application JSON, and I send this body. Let's put Germany to see if it's working. You see, for Romania, he already returned the capital of Romania. It's Bucharest. Let's see if it's returning for Germany. The capital of Germany should be Berlin. It depends on how busy is the ChatGPT and if we have lucky or not, because you know the server is very. There are a lot of requests, yeah. But you saw the steps. We don't have luck now, so we try later. But you understand what was the principle of the of creating the request. Let's end it again. Maybe you have luck. Now we have luck, so we get that the capital is Berlin. Done. Let's see how we will do this stuff in UiPath. In UiPath, to be able to do this is the project, but I will start it from as a new sequence to understand some steps. Yeah. Test sequence. Yeah. So first, to be able to work with HTTP request, you have to install Web API. I always told you about this stuff. So you need to have UiPath Web API activities, and you hit install. I have it already installed. After you have this UiPath Web API installed, you will have HTTP request. So you drag and drop the HTTP request activity, and then you will have this this wizard. As a developer, I prefer to work directly with properties, and what I can configure on properties. Here on this one, I will just put the endpoint. So what was the endpoint? The endpoint was this one, yeah? So we'll copy paste and say here that this is the endpoint that I want, yeah? So let's go to properties and work as I'm used. So I have the endpoint. The request will be a post. So the request will be a post. Then the body format will be JSON. Okay. The body will be a JSON that will create very easy. And I have to do the headers. So remember the headers. The headers here, what we have on the headers? We have this one, content type JSON. So we have content type. And on the content type, we have application JSON. And we have the authorization, yeah? And on the header, we have the authorization, yeah? And here we have on the authorization, we need to put beer space plus our API key. Remember our API key? This one that we copy, we save it from ChatGPT interface. So these are the two things that I have to configure. Yeah? Now, I have to put here the body. So I have the body that I have here as a JSON. If you remember, on my YouTube channel, you have here, if you write create JSON, you have multiple videos. And one video is how to create JSON in VB.NET. So how you create a JSON inside of VB.NET. And this is a very fast way to create JSON. And I give you here also the code. So if you go on this video, on the on GitHub, you will have the code. So this is the code how to build a JSON. It's simple JSON. So I will go take the code, and here I put it like this. Yeah. So what I have on this JSON? The JSON was with example with BMW and so on. But in my case, I have this stuff. So I will have key space model equal DaVinci. Yeah. Then I have key prompt equal let's delete this stuff. Then I have key done. I will delete this one, and I will delete this one. Okay. I have to put here equal, my bad. Okay. So I have the JSON created. Now I have an error here. Yeah, because he doesn't understand this GObject. The idea is like this. To be able to understand GObject, you need to include the the Newtonsoft object here. But the easiest way is to create a test. For example, you create a test variable where you will say, I want a GObject. I already have one. Okay, I will. And when you add the GObject, the system will automatically import the Newtonsoft stuff. Yeah. So let's let me create it again. So test 2 like this, and I will say GObject, and this will include the new stuff. Maybe maybe look, the error disappeared. Yeah. So that was the problem with the comment. Remember to add here a variable, and this variable should be a variable GObject, and this will remove the problem. Okay, good. So we create our JSON. We have the everything configured, and we run this stuff. Let's go back to the code that is already built, and let's understand what we have inside. So we have the HTTP request, as I showed you with all the configuration. with the body that is like this, with Romania, with the response. So I have the response will be a string, which will be rest, and I will display the response here with the headers that I showed you, with the headers that I create on the other part. And then we'll see what we'll do with this response, because the system will provide me a response like this. So the system will provide me a response like this, and I have to parse this response. So the response for me, it's coming as a string. I will create it as a JSON, and then I will want to access this part. So I'll say access the element choice. Then I have here a vector, and say access the first element of the vector. And then I want to access the text, yeah? So to be able to do this stuff in UiPath, I do these steps. I will write the response. After I will write the response, I will have this test variable, which is an GObject, and I say new GObject. And on this one, I will parse the things that it's returning from the HTTP request. Then, to be able to get my answer, I will say test choice 0 test to string. If you take a look here, it's I go to this object, I go on this vector on the position 0, and then I go to this object. Okay, so that's why I put these comments. Now, after this one, here is just a variable for test for me. I can disable this one. I will write which is my answer, and then I will analyze the answer because I want to extract Bucharest. And let me tell you the idea with this one. So the ChatGPT will respond like this. The capital of Romania is Bucharest. My main target is to get Bucharest, not this phrase, because I want to use this Bucharest in other part on UiPath. You will see. So what I will do a regex. So I will do a regex, and I will say Romania is, so based on what is his answer, I have to extract this Bucharest. And you see here, Romania is, and I put here that this will have a stuff with A to Z, so will be a character, a stand of characters, a list of characters. I don't know how many. And then I will have a dot, the end of the phrase. So I will use each match to see if I find this phrase. If I find this phrase, I will go further and I will say that I want to extract this phrase, yeah? So first I check that is there, and then I will extract it. And I will display the phrase. And on the phrase, I will remove Romania from the Romania is from the phrase, yeah? And I will trim this one because I want to display only Bucharest. And next, I will do a message box with this Bucharest, yeah? So I say, I like to visit Romanian capital, blah, blah, yeah? So I want to extract the exact point of the data from ChatGPT and use it. So let's run it. Let's see if ChatGPT is available now. If ChatGPT is available now, I will see the result of this. Timeout. So here you can do this stuff because you see that there is not a problem with communication, and it's not by default. You have here 6 seconds. You can make the timeout higher. Let's say instead of 6 seconds will be 12 seconds. Try again to see if it's available. If you have a pay service, for sure he will respond very fast. So I like to visit Bucharest. The system was able to extract all the data. Good. So I have this JSON. We get the capital of Romania, so extract the data from the JSON, and then we are able to extract Bucharest. Now, let's say that I want the country to be a variable. So I put here a variable country, Germany, yeah? So what I have to do, instead of Romania, there I have to put Germany, but I have to put a variable. So on the HTTP request, on building JSON, instead of capital of Romania, here I will put plus country. Country, yeah? Good. Then this is the extracting the data on the match. So we arrive here on the match. The match, instead of Romania is, will be country is, yeah? Country is. Okay? We'll do the same stuff here on the on this one. Country is, and we'll modify also this on this one. So basically, we modify how we want the input on ChatGPT, and we also modify and analyze the output because the ChatGPT will respond the same in the same format, but we can work with input output. I know. Here I have to do this stuff. So these two together, a length. Yeah, he loved it like this because it's the length of the of a big string. I don't know how much. If it was like this, it was just a length of is. Okay, yeah. Good. So let's see if with modification from UiPath Studio, with another variable from UiPath Studio, is able to respond, and we are able to get the correct response from ChatGPT and use it in our message box. Yeah, because using on a message box is exactly using on a robot somewhere in another place. We don't have we have a timeout. We'll try again. So the idea is be able for UiPath to extract data from different places, modify the data, create the input dynamically for ChatGPT, and then extract the data dynamically from ChatGPT and use it to other stuff. So the idea is to integrate ChatGPT inside of UiPath process. And you see, I like to visit Berlin. So outside of UiPath, I was able to get the data, and then with the data from ChatGPT, I was able to go in another place. So this is just the beginning of the presentation with the configuration of ChatGPT, and use a simple example. And on the next movie, I will have at least 3 use cases how to use ChatGPT inside of UiPath. For a complex configuration of ChatGPT, you can use Mahmoud TV video, and where he explained all the steps in much details. But I just want to show you how you do it and how you test it on my test. So watch my channel, and you will find, you watch my channel and check the next movie where we'll have the use cases with ChatGPT inside of the process on UiPath. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.